this is Travis here of FishOfHex. Appreciate you stopping in for another video. Today we're going to be doing some general maintenance on the 125 gallon reef tank. In this video I'm going to be cleaning the Jebao DCS 12,000 return pump, the BRS dual reactor, and finally the Reef Octopus BR110 biopellet reactor. Now all three of these devices are key components to my reef tank, so I'd like to make sure that I keep them cleaned and working great. Now, because cleaning the return pump could take several hours, I went ahead and added a utility pump to the sump section. I connected some hose and some barb fittings to it. What I did, guys, is I went ahead and put some of the flow over to the biopellet reactor. Not really so much to tumble the biopellets, but to at least get some flow through there to keep the bacteria alive during this time. And then finally, the rest of the flow went up out of the stand into the canopy and into the main display, allowing water to continue to flow as normal, so it continues temperature and all that good stuff, so I don't have any issues over the next 6 or 7 hours that the return pump is being cleaned. Now that everything with the main display is taken care of, let's go ahead and talk about the Jebao DCS 12,000 return pump. Now, I know the pump looks dirty, but trust me, if you've seen any of my previous videos, especially the one with me cleaning the Jebao DC 6000 return pump before I sold it to Mike, you'll know that that one was just extremely dirty, and it got to the point where it wouldn't even turn back on after the power outage. Now, I wanted to leave this one in for an additional 2 months to kind of see what the impact of the new biopellets were on that pump. Now, if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, I'll give you a quick rundown on what I'm talking about here. Now, previously I was using the Two Little Fishies biopellets, and I slowly transitioned over to the BRS biopellets because the Two Little Fishies was releasing this bacteria film that not only clogged the return pump, but it clogged up my skimmer and the return piping to the skimmer from the biopellet reactor. It got to the point where it was just clogging up everything. Ball valves were not working properly. It was just a huge mess. So what I did, guys, is I slowly just transitioned over to the BRS biopellets, and surprisingly and thankfully I'm having zero issues. I'm not even have to clean the return piping to the skimmer anymore. The skimmer maintenance is cut down in half, and I don't have to worry about my pump turning off after a power outage because it's that corroded with that bacteria film. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and move into the process of cleaning the return pump and the BRS dual reactor. Now what I did is I took a 20-gallon brute trash can that I use for water changes. I filled it up about a quarter away with hot water from the tap. I added vinegar, and then I added the return pump. Now I put the return pump on its side and I turned it all the way up. Now that's about 3,200 gallons per hour that's spinning within that bucket, which is a ton of flow. The next thing I did is I added the BRS dual reactor parts. I put the lid on the trash can and I let it sit for about 7 hours. Now after waiting the 7 hours, everything was really easy to clean. It only took a few minutes to get in there. I think the hardest part was getting my hand inside the BRS containers there. That was the hardest part about cleaning the whole process, really. But everything cleaned up good. I used a bottle brush and I used a couple picks to get all the bacteria film that was on the inside, at least at the bottom of the cylinder there. Either way, those are really easy to clean, and they flow a little bit better now that the screen on the bottom of the chamber is not clogged. I can get a little bit better flow through the GFO and the carbon, so I'm definitely glad I got that done. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the return pump. Now, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and remove the 4 screws that hold on that plastic plate. Now, be prepared to catch the nut out of 3 or 4 of those that will fall off while you're unscrewing it. They will go down the drain. They do fit, so be ready for that. The last thing you want to do is lose those. Once you remove the plate there, it wouldn't hurt if you haven't taken one of these pumps apart to just go ahead and take pictures of the process. I usually do that for anything that's new, but I've taken these pumps apart before, so I got a pretty good idea how they go back together. But it doesn't hurt to take pictures, because the last thing you want to do is take something apart, not remember how to put it back together properly, and then have issues down the road because of it. So just an FYI on that. Once you get that front cover off, it's pretty simple from there on out. You can go ahead and pull out the propeller, which is keyed. It only goes in one way. Also, notate the rubber O-ring and how it's placed inside the pump, so when you put it back together, you know what you're doing. After that, you can just go ahead and clean it. I used a couple dental picks, a few brushes, and it only took about 3 to 5 minutes. Once I put it back together, I went ahead and I tested it in a bucket of water just to make sure that it worked properly, and then put it back in the main display. Okay, moving on to the last piece of equipment I decided to clean during this maintenance, and that is the Reef Octopus BR110 biopellet reactor. Now, this reactor has only been on the system for about a month. It really wasn't that dirty, but I wanted to see how long it would take to do some general maintenance on it. Now, between removing it from the main display, taking it over to the sink, pulling out the parts and cleaning it, putting it back together, it took less than 5 minutes easy. Now compare that to the Phosband 150 and the Phosband 550 that I used previously. This is a lot easier. It took me literally 15 to 20 minutes to clean those reactors, and hopefully I didn't break them in the process. And I was really surprised and I'm thankful that it's easy to clean this reactor, because that was one of the biggest pain in the butts that I had previously. And when it's hard to clean stuff in this hobby, or maintenance is just a pain in the ass, you tend to not do it. And that's just how we are in general. If something's difficult or it just takes more effort than you think it's worth, you tend not to do it as often as you should. And with this reactor, it's extremely easy to clean, and I see myself cleaning it at least every month or every other month without any issues. It's that simple. All right. Well, guys, that's about it for this video. I wanted to keep it short, simple, and to the point. I just want you guys to know that you need to clean your equipment, either be every 3 months or 6 months. Just get it done. The last thing you want to do is watch your reef tank die because you didn't clean a piece of equipment that you should have done several months beforehand, and then it finally failed on you. I'm just thankful that I was home when my main pump failed, and I was able to get it out, get another pump in there, and continue to have the water flow while I was cleaning that one. Now, if I was out of town for a week, I would have nothing left. And there's nothing like losing a $10,000 reef tank because you didn't want to take a Sunday to clean your stuff. That's just how I look at it. But it's your reef tank. You can do whatever you want. Either way, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. If you'd like to give me a thumbs up, if you have any questions, put in the comment section below, or you can contact me directly via Facebook or email. I will get back to you. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.